Hi, my name is Victoria Hinderaker, and I am in Kinesiology 473. My experiment that I decided to do was can Gatorade enhance exercise performance? So, my introduction and my background, athletes drink lots of different electrolyte carbohydrate drinks in order to refuel and replenish their bodies during practice and competitions, or even during regular exercises. Gatorade is one of the most well-known sports-enhancing drinks worldwide. It has the ability to replenish electrolytes, carbohydrates, sodium, and sugars that are lost in almost all extensive exercise programs. Athletes typically drink water to begin with. However, they must find something else to replenish what their bodies lose and have lost during workouts. So Gatorade is a good substitute. It has the capacity to replenish the body when you've lost electrolytes, carbohydrates, sodium, sugars, and um, it is really good for practice and competitions. So why is this an issue? This is an important issue because there are a lot of performance enhancing drinks on the market. So you don't always know which ones to buy. Also, this is an issue because athletes must replenish their bodies during difficult workouts or their performance can decrease, especially collegiate athletes. And it's important to know that the sports drinks you are consuming not only replenish your body, but increase your ability to perform at a high level continuously. Why must we further research this area? Well, because if we can prove that Gatorade does replenish your body while increasing performance, then it could help a lot of collegiate athletes perform at a high level consistently. This would make coaches happy, players happy, anyone else in the athletic department happy, but overall, it would make your body happy. Um, it's important to a lot of coaches and to a lot of athletes worldwide. Um, so that's why it's an issue. So, problem statement. My research question was, will drinking Gatorade before running on a treadmill for 1 mile increase the performance of the body over drinking water? My hypothesis was that yes, Gatorade would increase the performance of the body over water because it has other qualities such as electrolytes that water doesn't have. My dependent variables were water and Gatorade. Here's my Gatorade bottle. And my independent variables were my 1 mile run on a treadmill while increasing my speed at an incline of 3 every quarter of a mile. My methods. So, my overview of my intervention. I conducted my intervention, which involved an hour-long meeting with my participants. I recruited 5 participants between the ages of 18 and 22 from the women's volleyball team. So these were 5 of my close teammates. 18 to 22, I picked that age because 18 is usually a freshman and 22 is usually a senior, and I wanted to see if there was a gap in between performance with their age. Um, each woman was given a gallon of water each day. So this trial ran for 2 weeks, which was 14 days. They were given a gallon of water for every day, which is 14 gallons, and they were also checked in on daily to make sure that they were only consuming water as what they were drinking during those 2 weeks. This is because the research team wanted to be able to only give them Gatorade, to only give them something else that wasn't water, so that it would be like a control group, basically. Testing was done every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So 2 tests were administered on each day. The first test was the athlete would show up, they would drink 8 ounces of water, they would wait 10 minutes, and then they would run 1 mile. And then the second test was a 20-minute break. And in between that 20-minute break, you would drink 8 ounces of Gatorade, wait 10 minutes, and then run your second mile. So each drink was administered, like I said, 10 minutes before the test. To track the performance and quality of the athlete, we used a relative intensity scale of 0 to 10, 0 being relatively easy and 10 being extremely difficult. Um, the athlete started their mile at an incline level of 3, and every quarter mile that they ran, their incline went up 3 levels. So the intensity would increase, and they were asked to show on the relative intensity scale where they were at every quarter of a mile. So here is the relative intensity scale. Like I said, it goes from 0 to 10. 0 being very easy, 10 being relatively intense, pretty extreme, hard, difficult. In statistical tests, the data collected exhibited higher numbers when drinking water and lower numbers when drinking Gatorade. This means that the intensity of the athlete decreased and their performance increased when drinking Gatorade. So basically, water ranged between 6, 7, or 8 by the end of the test, which is pretty hard, like it was a hard mile. And then Gatorade usually ranged from 5 to 6 at the end of the test, which means there was a 2-point difference. In general, athletes perform better and with greater ability when drinking Gatorade. They did not seem winded, and they talked clearly when the research team was asking them where they were on the relative intensity scale, which is relatively hard to do when you're running a mile, talking to someone while you're running. So through observation of the actual athlete, we were able to see that the athletes seemed more alert. They were able to run harder. They didn't seem tired, as tired as they should be, because they had already run 1 mile. So those are our statistical findings. And for discussion, our findings. Like I said, there was a 2-point gap in the water test compared to the Gatorade test, which is not a huge gap, but it is enough to show that Gatorade was able to replenish the body in the 20-minute rest period that we gave our athletes. All 5 athletes scored relatively close. There was no athlete that scored more than 1 point higher or below each other, so that was neat to see that between the ages of 18 to 22, which is 4 years, they were all pretty close as collegiate athletes. Our research team observed how performance increased when athletes ran after drinking Gatorade. So like I said, their first test they did well because they are collegiate athletes, but we also went on this test knowing that they had already had 3 hours of practice to begin with that day. So their second test, we were able to see how the Gatorade replenished their body, and they were able to push through that test and have even better readings on the relative intensity scale. So in conclusion, this led to the researchers considering the performance increase in these collegiate athletes during actual practices or competitions. We were only able to do this experiment in a setting where it was one-on-one, it was a 1 mile run, it wasn't a practice with 16 to 17 girls, and we would be curious to see what the actual practice or competition would look like. But overall, our hypothesis was proven. Gatorade does enhance the performance of athletes, specifically while running a 1 mile run on a Cybex treadmill. And that was our project. Thanks for watching.